Mind traps are real. We often think our biggest problems come from the outside world, but the truth is that our own fear is the biggest danger we face. In a vast forest where the trees touched the clouds, there lived a massive colony of ants. These ants were known as the strongest team in the forest because they always worked together to solve every problem. They shared their food, built their homes together, and never left anyone behind. Their strength was not in their size, but in their unity. However, one warm afternoon, while they were carrying food back to their hill, a large, dark spider climbed down from the branches and blocked their path. The ants stopped instantly. Their tiny legs were trembling with fear as they looked at the spider's long legs and many eyes. One ant whispered to his friend, "This is the end of our colony." But something very strange happened. The spider did not jump or use his web to catch them. Instead, he sat very still on the ground and looked at them with a calm smile. "Do not worry, I am not here to hunt you today. I am just here to play a small game." The ants were confused. They had never heard a predator speak so kindly. The spider continued, "At sunset, when the light leaves the forest, the one ant who is at the very back of the line will be my dinner." With that, the spider stepped to the side. He did not chase them or growl. He just sat there, waiting and watching. The ants stood still for a moment, trying to understand what he meant. Then one ant took a fast step forward. Another ant followed him quickly. Suddenly, a thought spread like fire through the whole group. "I just need to not be last." That was the moment everything changed. The calm walk turned into a fast pace. The fast pace turned into running, and the running turned into total chaos. The ants who used to be a team were now shouting at each other to move out of the way. They began to push and shove their own friends into the dirt just to get ahead. Fear had entered their minds, but a deeper feeling of self-preservation had taken over. Now they were not running from the spider, they were running from each other. They were no longer trying to protect the colony, they were only trying to save themselves. Some ants started to pull their friends backwards so they could move forward. Others tripped the older and weaker ants who could not run fast enough. They looked back at their own family and calculated who should be left behind just to keep themselves safe. One ant even pushed his best friend into a hole and said, "I am sorry, but it is you or me." The spider did not move a single muscle because he did not need to. His trap was not made of sticky silk. It was a psychological trap made of fear inside their heads. As the hours passed and the sun began to go down, the ants were breathing very heavily. Their legs were shaking from the effort, and their bodies were completely exhausted. But even though they were tired, their minds were still trapped in the race. They kept fighting and pecking at each other, trying to stay away from the back of the line. One old ant who was wounded and lying in the dust whispered, "Stop, we are killing ourselves." But no one listened to him because fear had made them deaf to the pain of their brothers. They were so focused on being first that they did not see they were all falling apart. Finally, the sun touched the horizon and a heavy silence fell over the path. The spider slowly walked forward. He did not need to chase them or attack them because the group had already destroyed itself. The ants lay on the ground, broken, exhausted, and divided. As the spider reached the first ant, that ant looked at the spider and then at his broken team. With his final breath, he realized the truth. The spider did not defeat them. They had defeated themselves. The spider slowly walked in and began his feast because the ants had given him an easy victory. This story shows us how the world works. Sometimes the enemy does not attack you directly. They just plant one idea in your mind, that you are only safe if you are ahead of others. When you believe this, you start to compete and push others down. You do not realize that the real trap was never outside. It was inside your own mind. If you are ready to stop the race and start helping others, comment together below to show that you trust the process and choose unity over fear today. Subscribe for more stories.